Today's episode is all about Your Comped. They've recently gone through the RevTech Accelerator program, and they're a platform that's matching up casinos with their ideal clientele, and then going even a step further and really crafting some experiences for that clientele. We hear all about it in the show today. Craig, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really stoked to find out more about You Are Comped. And this I've seen you pitch a couple of times at 1 Million Cups and at Dallas New Tech. And I know you've just gone through the RevTech Accelerator. You have another chance to be in front of people.
That's right.
Telling your story and everything. So give me a little bit of what You Are Comped is, and then I'd love to kind of go back and find out what led you there, and then dive into sort of some of the details about it.
Sure. So Your Comped is a platform that...
And it's Your Comped. I'm always calling it You Are Comped.
It's up in the air. It's open for interpretation. But
that's just a nice way of saying you're saying it wrong.
Right.
Please
No.
quit being an idiot and say it right.
So You Are Comped or Your Comped, essentially what it does is it's a platform that allows casino players to get comps and casino offers at places they never would have gotten otherwise.
Okay.
And from the casino's perspective, it allows them to market to qualified casino players that they would never be able to reach through traditional marketing methods.
Oh, wow.
And by doing so, it drastically lowers their acquisition costs to acquire new players.
Sure, because it's not the billboard approach of we hope somebody maybe sees it, but it's a very targeted.
Yeah, that's the thing is that in the casino industry, 10% of casino players make up over 80% of revenue.
Oh, wow.
And what these players respond to are comp offers. They want to get the limo picking them up from the airport. They want the free room, the free buffets, all that stuff. But casinos can't broadcast these offers. They can't put a billboard up that's like, hey, everyone that wants to come in and get a free room, you can do it.
Right.
So what Your Comp does for these casinos is that we pre-qualify players. Players can sign up, essentially qualify themselves through our onboarding process, and then based on the value that we assign to each player, they get offers at casinos and cruise lines around the world that they wouldn't have had access to otherwise.
That's awesome. So you guys are really kind of a marketplace or a go-between. You're that hub between the two.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a mix of maybe a credit union like Experian and an Expedia.
Okay.
Because the thing is, like, imagine if any time you bought a car, you had to start over, right? So you bought a Toyota, you established credit with Toyota, and they're like, all right, we'll loan them we'll give them a loan next time he wants to buy a car, but you want to buy a Ford, you have to start over.
Right.
And that's essentially how the casino industry is, because comps are essentially loans that the casino makes to a player. So you come in and play, and they see that Jason's worth $500 every time he comes in. Mm-hmm. Great. All right, we're going to give him comps based on that play that he established. But if you're a new player, you're nobody to them, so
right.
They can't give you comps. So what we do is essentially establish credit with the casino for each of our players that gives the casino confidence to give comps to these new players.
Fantastic. This is great. I want to dive into this more, but let's go back a little bit in your history that led you here to even a startup and this particular one, and in Dallas, Texas, of all places.
Sure. So my first job out of college was with Harrah's Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
And when I was working there, I was doing database marketing, and that was essentially Harrah's at the time had a database of 70 million customers.
Goodness.
And Lake Tahoe specifically had a smaller percentage of that. But what we would do every month is essentially divide up the database based on several different metrics, the biggest ones being how much each player was worth per day and then their location. And we would send offers out to each of the players. So I got a really good grasp of how marketing in the casino industry works from a comp offer perspective. And then after that, I went on a cruise ship. I was the executive casino host on a Norwegian Cruise Lines
nice.
vessel. And that's really where the idea for Your Comped came from. Was I was on the ship, and there'd be players that part of my job was to take care of VIP guests, people that were cruising for free, courtesy of the casino. And there'd be players that were coming on cruising for free and gambling a good amount. And then there'd be players that had paid full price for their cruise, but were gambling more than the VIP guests.
Oh, wow.
And the reason was that Norwegian Cruise Lines didn't know who these players were until they got on board. There wasn't a third party to really allow these players to get
in
the
the system. So okay.
Exactly. So that's where the kind of genesis of the idea came from. But it took a while to really put your comp in motion. Really, it was.
When was that? You were on the cruise ship?
I was on the ship. Gosh, that was 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
And my now wife, she came and visited me on the ship, and I remember I'd be like up all night just scribbling down a business plan, and she'd be like, "What is this guy doing? Like, who is this dude?" But then it wasn't until several years later I was doing a master's in marketing at UT Dallas, and through a mutual friend got hooked up with Cale Sherry, who's my co-founder, he's a brilliant developer, and we started talking, and essentially that was start of last year. We started kind of spitballing ideas, and that was the genesis of it. And then in June of this year, we got into RevTech, and that's when I went full time on your comp, and I mean we've had just exponential growth since then.
Wow. So you've got a customer base. You're actually in the middle of it. It's happening, right?
Yeah, as of today, we have 25 casino partners, and then Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines.
Very nice. And how many users on the?
We have 3,000 people that have signed up with your comp.
That's fantastic. So walk me through some of that process. Like, how are you getting found right now on both sides? And then what is that process to qualify somebody coming in, and that you can guarantee that casino, like, hey, these guys are really gonna spend that.
Sure. So right now we're not doing any paid advertising. That's going to change in November, but essentially people are finding us via Google. We have very good SEO. So if people Google, we had a great customer, sign up recently that Googled casino host in the Caribbean, and they found your comp, and they signed up, and we were able to get them a trip to St. Martin for free. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. So people are finding us via that, and just hearing about us in the community in Dallas-Fort Worth, and signing up that way. And then from the casino perspective, it's been me cold calling casinos and saying, hey, I got 3,000 people, you want to sign up? So, and we get them on board that way.
Very nice, very nice. So what is that process for bringing somebody, first off on the user base, the folks who are gambling, what is that process to qualify them?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways that they can qualify themselves with us. I mean, the easiest is their tier status at a casino.
Okay.
So it's just like American Airlines, frequent flyers, whatever. The more you fly, the higher your tier gets. In the casino, the more you play, you get elevated to different statuses. So that could give us a baseline. At a minimum, we know this person in the last 6 months or 12 months has played this much.
Okay, so if they've got a certain status at M Resort or at, MGM, the M card or whatever at MGM's, right? So this is allowing them to sort of jump over to these other properties or casinos, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's that, and then combined with a couple other things that we can look at that allows us to quickly validate a person's level of play. And then when it's time that they want to take a trip, we just ask them to snap a photo of these things so we can verify that you are what you say you are. But yeah.
Cool. So is there any sort of, as these trips are coming into place right now, is there any sort of minimums, like, this casino's comping this person? Is it a little bit of like, hey, we'll see how it goes, or is there a guarantee put down, I'm going to gamble this much a day? Or
so what we do is on a player's first trip, we're really upfront about what's the expectation.
Okay. With both sides, or with like that player?
So the casinos will tell us for this suite, they need the person needs to have this level of play. To get a limo to pick them up, we need this level of play. So,
and is that dollar amount or time at a table, or?
It's a combination of all of the above. So a common term in the casino industry is theoretical, average daily theoretical. And what that is, it's Jason, his average bet is $50 a hand on blackjack. There's 75 hands per hour in blackjack, and he normally plays for 4 hours, and the house edge is 1.5%. And so they can calculate that. It takes out the element of luck or chance, and they say, theoretically, at the end of 4 hours, Jason should have essentially given us X amount of dollars, right?
Right.
So that's how they assign a player's value.
Okay.
And so what we do is make an estimate about a player's value, and then give them offers based on that. And on the first trip, we tell them, hey, look, this is the offer you're getting, and it's based on this. Are you comfortable playing this amount? And they say yes, then it's good to go.
And then from there on, like certainly the casino's going to track that. They're going to be tracking that. Is there a kind of back and forth with you guys with that?
Yeah, so after a trip, the casino gives us a report on how the player played along with our commission.
Okay, cool. So that's the revenue model there. It's like, yeah, I've watched these presentations, but I have to dive into that. That's the revenue model behind this is a cut from the casino, basically, of how much the player plays.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always free for our players, and then our casino partners, they don't need to pay us until we deliver customers for them. So it's really a win-win on both sides.
Because that way, too, from the casino security standpoint, they know that you have a vested interest in sending them people who are really going to play and spend that money.
Oh, absolutely. Especially early on as a startup. I mean, we're especially vigilant about making sure we're sending good players. We don't want to damage our reputation with our partners, the casinos that are taking a chance on us early on. Eventually, as we get more and more volume, then potentially we can loosen up our controls about making sure these are good players. But
sure, because if one guy out of 2,000, it's like, he didn't quite play enough, it's very different from one out of the first 10.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, what's been the pushback, if any, from casinos at this point, who you've been cold calling?
Yeah. So when we first started, it was this is the idea, and I would call casinos and be like, hey, this is what we're doing. You want on board? And they're like, sounds interesting. How many players you have? I'm like, no. You give me offers, and then I'm going to get players. And they're like, right. So then what we started with, we're like, all right, how are we gonna find players? It was real chicken or the egg. So we have this thesis that slot players all take photos of their jackpots or videos, and because my mom does, she plays penny slots, and she'll always take a photo and send it to her friends that play slots and send it to me. And so we're like, all right, let's make a Twitter essentially for slot players where they can upload their photos and comment on other photos.
Okay.
Because people don't want to post it to Facebook because they don't want their pastor or their ex-wife or their creditors seeing like, oh, this guy just hit a big jackpot.
Right.
So anyway, we made this, we put out some Facebook advertising, we quickly got to 1,500 people signing up.
Just on the Twitter side, or actually signing up URComp?
Essentially, so URComp essentially at the beginning was just a Twitter for slot players. Okay. So the app, if you went on the Android or iTunes store, that app is still that kind of original product.
Gotcha.
So after we got that enough traction, then we went back to calling casinos. We're like, hey, look, we got 1,500 players, and they're playing $100 slot machines or doing this kind of thing. So then that's when we got the first couple casinos to take a chance on us. Okay. And then it got easier to get the third and the fourth and the 20th and 25th.
Sure. Because then also, obviously, you ramp up your user base too because, okay, now we actually have some offers.
Exactly.
So how did you roll that in and start to not pivot because it's your original idea, but sort of at least pivot the app itself or that interface, and these folks are going from loading up picks to, hey, we've got these offers, this is what we're about. How does that transition happen?
Yeah, so the app has been renamed to UrComp Social.
Okay.
So we kind of, all right, here's UrComp, and that is a casino travel platform essentially.
Okay.
And now UrComp Social is where you guys can upload photos and share kind of cool experiences. So that's essentially, we built them in parallel, and then we just rebranded this Twitter for gamblers as UrComp Social.
Okay, perfect. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. So give me a little insight, if you will, from going through RevTech. How has that process been, and where were you at the beginning of that and now at the end? So
when we started, we didn't have any direct casino relationships, and that was in June. And so we went from 0 to 25 in Royal Caribbean. So, and we just made so much progress on the platform, on the technology that helps us acquire and deliver cool experiences for players. So it's been phenomenal. There was a 14-week program. David Matthews runs it, just a phenomenal guy with the help from Lindsay Ellis. And every week there'd be 2 mentor sessions, pitch practice, and we had some phenomenal mentors through the program that have continued to help us even after. Howard Cleon, Mike Whitaker, Mark Clark, Alex Muse. Has he been on the show?
Not yet.
All right. Yeah, just phenomenal contacts we made. And of course, RevTech also made a generous investment when we started.
Okay.
And that was really the impetus for me personally to leave my day job and then go full time on your comp.
That makes all the difference.
It totally
you
does.
Actually focus and just do this.
It totally does.
I mean, I don't know how else you go from 0 to 25 and a cruise line in this amount of time. Otherwise,
Yeah, we wouldn't have. 'Cause I mean, if you're at a day job, you owe it to the employer to, put in your
Right.
full time effort, and then you have a kid, and
Yeah.
there just wasn't a lot of hours in the day to put into your comp. But now we've made so much progress. It's been awesome.
so help me understand too. Like this is more than just a transactional marketplace. Are you guys doing anything like custom for clients or anything?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're really trying to automate the VIP experience for each player, really personalize it. Because that's something that's difficult today in the casino industry to do, because really there's hosts at each property that they might be servicing a couple thousand players. It's tough for them to remember what each player likes, and they only have the capability to do things at the property they work for.
Right, if they're already coming in, basically, right?
Exactly. But what we're able to do is capture player preferences and then deliver custom experiences for these players. For example, we have a phenomenal property, La Berge in Baton Rouge, which is right next to LSU. So if our players, someone might be a fan of the Oregon Ducks who might be playing at LSU, we have capture that data in our database, and we can deliver, hey, come out, get 2 free tickets to the game, and stay at our casino partner there.
Oh, that's so slick.
Oh, totally. And same with like golf. A lot of our players like to golf. We have some Agua Caliente in Palm Springs is a phenomenal golf course, and so we can deliver offers specific to our golf players to come out there and stay for a couple nights and golf for free. Yeah.
So how is that? What's the automation side of it, or is it there yet, or is it still kind of the team going through and seeing these and getting little pings or something?
Sure, it's looking at what each of our casino partners has to offer, and then quantifying that, or putting each different kind of cool part about that property into a little bucket, and then capturing what our players like, and just basically matching the flags and be like, hey, this is a perfect property for you.
So basically, in that back end, in the technology, basically to have it be pinging on its own and sort of compiling this.
Yeah,
on
it's a recommendation engine.
Okay.
So we have one in Black Hawk, Colorado, Ameristar in Black Hawk, Colorado, which is next to a ski resort. So if our players like skiing, well, hey, here's a phenomenal way to come and stay and play and have some fun and ski. So it's about just delivering really personalized, cool experiences for our players.
Well, and that's phenomenal, because that takes it. I mean, you talk about doing the marketing for you. I mean, somebody who goes, it's one thing they get comped and you go on this thing and everyone's excited about that already. But the experience that you talked about on getting 2 tickets to the game and going on and on and on, all because of your comped. I mean, they're going to tell everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We have a couple in St. Louis, a couple great properties out there. If you want to do a brewery tour out there, Kansas City, you want to try some amazing barbecue. So there's just a lot of all these properties that we've signed up with. We've been really fortunate to just have really cool properties that have something unique outside of just the gaming to offer. And that's what we really want to bring to our players.
Because that's the fun part to me. Like, that's what excites me, is that customer service, and that's what, again, gets talked about all the time, and people just light up, and you'll have lines around the world.
I hope so. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what's next? What's that next milestone for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. We have a couple large casinos that we'd like to bring on board. Right now, we have some amazing properties in Las Vegas. We'd like to get one of the top tier properties, kind of Central Strip. So that's a goal for us. And then we're starting to do paid advertising in November. So really, it's now we've made some milestones on the technology, and we feel like we're ready to take on a larger, a quicker stream of players. So we're ready to start turning that up.
Nice. What's the plan for that? More Facebook?
I'll do some online
right.
advertising. We'll do some offline advertising. We're doing a mailer where we have a Your Comp magazine coming out that will be mailed to some players.
That's really good. Yeah, it's amazing how effective now. Like we've come around the other side to where that offline, tangible, a magazine, a flyer, something physical can make all the difference and actually stand out amongst all the digital noise.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have a great partner, Hot Media. Brad Hastett from Hot Media is helping us put together a great mailer. So we're excited about that.
I love that. I love those little unique things that you wouldn't necessarily think of all the time. So that's awesome. So what's the best way for folks to just kind of keep up with what's going on or sign up or anything?
Yeah, thanks. So yourcomp.com, letter U, letter R, comped.com is the easiest way to sign up. We also have a Facebook page and a Twitter, which are great as well.
Awesome. And of course, it's your comped, not you are comped, because what idiot would say you are comped?
Oh, come on now.
So yourcomped.com. I encourage everybody to go there and check it out. And
Cool.
Keep growing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal.
Thanks so much for being on.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Make sure you reach out to Craig and let him know you saw him on the show. And go to yourcomp.com. Make sure you sign up, check it out, see if it's an awesome platform for you. And certainly follow along as they grow and evolve. And I'm really anxious to see where they take this company.